This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. And that's exactly the times that we're living in as we get closer and closer to the end of Esau's world and Babylon the Great. First and foremost, before we get started, I want to thank Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakafadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me this truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. Now, I pray that this quick lesson be edifying, exhorting, comforting, uplifting, to the elect as always. So, yeah, we're seeing, as the scriptures say, measured out the time diligently in itself. So, one of the many signs that, different empires are going down and, they're about to collapse has a lot to do with the economy, and the how do I say it, the position of the people, for lack of a better way of saying it, what's going on with the citizens and what have you. So this is from End Time Headlines, and it reads, size of American workforce has fallen over 1 million people in the past 12 months. So, and as the scriptures say, we'll get it, the grinders are ceasing, man. More and more people are not working, so more and more people are suffering because the price of everything is continually going up. So people have to have more than one job, but people can't find the jobs that they need. So where does that leave the people but to suffer? And it's all leading to that universal basic income, which is going to come in as a savior, which is ultimately the MO to the TB, man. That's what these people are going to look at it as, man. They're going to look at the solution, which is the MOTB, which these devils are going to push. They're already setting up, the infrastructure is already here, and they're getting the people primed, and basically bringing the people to their knees so that they will beg for that MO to the TV, man. That's what's going on in this world. That's what's going on at this time. That's what these devils are pushing. So let me read some of this, and then I'll get a couple scriptures, and that'll be the lesson. So it says, the American labor force has contracted by more than 1 million people over the past year, leaving the pool of workers and active job seekers at its smallest relative size since the depths of the demic. According to a report from MarketWatch, the latest data revealed a labor force participation rate that has slipped to levels not seen in years, raising fresh concerns about the economy's long-term capacity to expand. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported Friday that the participation rate, the share of the civilian population either employed or actively seeking work, fell to 61.4% in July. That matches the low point last recorded in February 2021. The overall size of the workforce now stands at 169.1 million, down from 170.4 million a year earlier. The sharpest drop has come in recent months. Economists view the decline as both a demographic reality and a reflection of current conditions. Declines in the participation rate are becoming more concerning as it's currently near historic lows, said Dominique Ballardo, chief multi-asset strategist at Morningstar Wealth. Setting aside the demic shock, the rate has not been this low in decades. Yeah, I mean, so it kind of just keeps going on. It says a number of discouraged workers, quote unquote, those who have stopped looking because they believe no jobs are available, rose to 503,000 in July from about 460,000 a year earlier. The fear here is we move to a state where people say, I'm no longer looking, says Market Watch. I'm just kind of giving up on my job search right now. Yeah, so I mean, and this is what the elites want, man. Because as Elon Musk spoke about in one of his interviews or speeches or whatever, work will be optional. So they're already setting the stage for people. After the CV, people staying home, people not having to leave, people doing remote work and all that. A lot of people just like, I don't feel like working. I just rather just chill and collect a check. That's how most people feel. And then the people that actually want to work, they can't even find jobs to work. So it's a perfect storm, to get these people all ready for that MO to the TB, man. So let me get this definition. So we've read in here, it's talked about the economist, right? So just for any new listeners, right? Economy, right? From the online etymology, right? The study of the word. It says from 1530s, household management, right? It says household management, thrift, manager, steward, house, abode, dwelling, right? So the economists, right, the managers of the house are worried, they're worried about, what's going on in the economy, and that's what the scriptures speak about. So let's go right to the scripture. There's Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house, right, the economists, shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, right? The grinders going into the jobs, right? You know how Jake say, they're out here on their grind, they're out here grinding, right? Those are the jobs. And it says they are few. And those that look out the windows be darkened, right? People seeing that there's no future here, right? Isn't that what they said at the end? The fear here is we move to a state where people say, I'm no longer looking. I'm just kind of giving up on my job search right now, right? People are seeing that there's no future, man, right? There's a despair out there. And the doors, Ecclesiastes 12:4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, right? And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, right? People are waking up early, searching for jobs, trying to, figure it out, trying to, make their ends meet and what have you, right? Early in the morning. And all the daughters of music shall be brought low, right? And the music is absolute trash, right? And that's the point. So let me get this and I'll close out. This is Isaiah 24:11. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. And that's what we're in. Not only is nobody, a lot of people aren't able to get jobs and what have you, but the mirth of the land is the joy in Babylon is already gone, man. All the holidays, so-called holidays and what have you, it just doesn't feel the same when people go to the movies. And even right now I'm at work and just looking at, the way people are, it's just like people are just deflated. They just look tired, run down, exhausted, ready to give up, and that's only gonna get worse, man, as we get closer and closer to the end of this place, man. It says in Salakia. Did I go? Where was I at? 9th verse. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Right? So people are, just in sorrow, man. People are smoking more. People are drinking more. People are doing, more pharmaceuticals, more. That's why people are out here just driving so crazy, because everybody's got all these meds in their system, man. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone, man. And that's exactly the time that we're in, man. The mirth is just gone, man. People are just through, Babylon is through. 1 second. About that. Okay, it's good. All right. Yeah, people are just through out here, man. Babylon's through. The people out here are through, and they're just kind of just going through the motions, man. Everybody I look at, they just look defeated, But yeah, that's pretty much it. I gotta go finish this order real quick. But yeah, keep fighting, Akim. We are indeed witnessing the downfall of our enemies. The downfall of this wicked ass queendom. And the downfall of our top enemy, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, that has put hell on the whole entire earth, including the people, man, even his own people, So it's beautiful. It truly is a beautiful time to be alive. It's a beautiful time to be in his truth. It's a beautiful time to know the names of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and truly believe and trust in those names, man, wholeheartedly, So with that, I hope and pray that this lesson was edifying, as always, to the elect. And in closing, I want to thank Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honor to your apostles and the elders at GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me his truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. Keep fighting, keep striving, keep pushing. We're almost out of this bitch. And salutation to my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom, abab abal, and kwam yasharala. Hey, shalom. To the next one.